and welcome to the Holy Hour podcast, the All Cure podcast. I'm Gavin, and welcome back, or hello for the first time. We are currently in the middle of our coverage of the summer 2026 European Festival tours. The Cure are chugging along, doing great still. And we had 3 big shows in Berlin. These were ones everybody was looking forward to. A lot of people decided to make the pilgrimage out to Germany for these 3 shows because they were absolute Cure shows and not part of a huge festival or anything. So a lot of people would choose these. We had a lot of friends out there. And lucky for us, one of those people was our good buddy and trusty correspondent, Colleen, who was at all 3 nights in Berlin and has sent us her thoughts from the front lines. Let's go ahead and jump right into that now and see what this whole experience was like for Colleen out in Berlin. Colleen, take it away.
Hello, Gavin. Hello, everyone at the Holy Hour podcast. This is Colleen giving a little report after the Berlin shows. I was able to catch all 3 shows in Berlin, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First, I just want to say that it was an amazing, amazing venue. It's the Parkbühne Wuhlheide, and it's basically in the middle of this large forest park, I guess is the best way I would describe it, about an hour's train ride from the center of Berlin. And I think the amphitheater was built in the 1950s on World War II rubble. And it was also quite happening after the shows with little outdoor restaurants and bars. You could just kind of walk through the forest and then there'd be this little kind of beer garden set up. Yeah, so I quite enjoyed it. It was a little sketchy if you're trying to vie for the front sections. So if you're getting there early, because you have to kind of hike up a hill that gets you to the top of the venue, and then you have to take these stairs down to get to the floor if that's where you're sitting, if that's where you're going to watch the show. And I think especially for when I had front of stage tickets, when I got there early, they had this crazy system where everybody ran to the top and then they were standing at the top with kind of like racing tape or like ticker tape. I don't know what it's called. And they had these really strong security guys who basically screamed in German, no translation, that, we're going to walk, we're not going to run. And if anybody pushes through, they go to the back of the line. But yeah, it was a little precarious because they're kind of holding you back with this. I mean, they can't really hold you, but they delineate it with the line, and then you're supposed to walk slowly down the stairs. Then once you get to the floor, I guess you can make a run for it. But yeah, it was kind of funny. It's like, stop, 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 stop. Everybody was trying to push, and they keep on yelling at people to slow down, stop. But it was quite precarious because you could really trip coming down the stairs. And I think if there's a large crowd behind you and they didn't realize that there's the stairs, you could kind of get the surge of the crowd to push the front people down. But anyways, that was interesting. And so basically it had a standing floor, general admission, that was divided into a front of stage section and a back section. And then they had 2 rings of seating sections. There's kind of benches to sit on. And what was interesting is within each section, it was general admission. So if you wanted to get as close as you could in that section, you had to get there a little bit early. So on Friday, we had tickets for the back part of the floor, and we got there early enough to be front center on the rail for that section. So we weren't super close, but we got to rest on the rail a little bit. And then on Saturday, my friend somehow managed to squeeze, with a little bit of arguments, I will say, into the center rail for the front section, which we had. And then I kind of squeezed up right behind her. And then Sunday, we also had tickets for the front of stage section, but we decided to take it easy, and we arrived just as the doors opened, and so we were maybe like a third of the way back for that section, but still pretty close. It can be kind of stressful, especially if people get aggressive, people getting there early and getting impatient, and there's never a clear communication from the staff. So we decided to just take it easy on Sunday, and we were a little tired. So I have to say, Friday night, it took me an embarrassingly long time to realize that Simon was not on stage. We were in the back section of the floor, and in my defense, they did set up the keyboards and guitars for Eden, but I had this roughly 6 foot 4 inch guy standing right in front of me, blocking exactly where Simon would be. And I think it was like at the second song, I was like, why don't I see Simon running around on stage? What's going on? And then I kind of turned my head to try to see, and I say, oh, that's Eden playing bass, and there's no one at keyboards. I can't remember exactly when, but maybe after 1 or 2 songs, Robert made a quick announcement that Simon wasn't doing well and that Eden is filling in. And the crowd kind of weakly cheered for Eden, and then Robert said something like, yeah, really, and then to try to get the crowd to appreciate him and to cheer louder, and then they did cheer louder. Robert mentioned at least twice that it had been a really hard day, and he definitely seemed stressed, tired. I think the show was just a tad bit shorter, like maybe 5 minutes shorter than the other shows, and they did start a little late, which is unusual. They've really been starting on time because all these venues seem to have strict curfews. I don't know why, but my first thought was that Simon got in a bicycle accident. I think Robert has said in interviews that he likes to go on long bike rides the day of the show, but it does seem that he was ill. Not so ill that, Eden had to be at his side, but ill enough that Robert seemed really worried. But luckily, as we know now, he's recovered and he's resumed playing. But I do have to say that Eden did an excellent job. If I say Eden, it's because I know somebody who pronounces their name that way, and I've trained myself to say Eden, but what I meant was Eden. He did an excellent job. I really also, at least what I think I see, is pride that I see in Robert's eyes when he looks at Eden. And I love that they also do the sort of back-to-back little cuddling when they jam together on the guitar and bass, that the same as Simon and Robert do. So on Friday, we got the tour debut of Primary, plus my favorites, Prayers for Rain and Disintegration. I have commented that I wish they would change the set list a little bit more. I mean, they definitely do it more than the average band these days. I never get tired of Prayers for Rain and Disintegration. And Robert is still able to hold that note on Prayers for Rain. It's just amazing. Saturday, I would say, was probably, for me, the best set list of the 3. We got A Strange Day, which is definitely one of my favorites. We got Cold again. I think I caught Cold one of the nights in Ireland. And then Disintegration again. Can't complain. And this time they didn't set up the extra keyboard and guitars, so I knew as soon as they were setting up that Simon wouldn't be playing. By Sunday, we were pretty tired, and so we're just kind of taking it in. I was happy to get Catch, which, according to setlist.fm, is the first time it's been played since 2016. We got Charlotte Sometimes again. One of my favorites. I think I got that in Ireland as well. And, of course, Prayers for Rain and Disintegration. I'm still waiting for Secrets, though. I haven't caught that one yet. I'm hoping to catch it in France. We got Hot, Hot, Hot again, which is kind of a dumb song, and I haven't caught it live too often, but I have to say that I really like it live. I think it's because it doesn't have the cheesy horns of the recording, and Robert really hams it up, kind of almost raps it. It's funny, my only criticism of Cure songs before Wild Mood Swings came out is that they sometimes gave into the 80s cliche of horns or a sax solo. Fun fact, I was actually never a huge fan of A Night Like This, but now it's one of my favorites, at least live. And I think that's because they've replaced that cheesy sax solo with a guitar solo. And I think Reeves is improvising, and it's a little different each time, but man, that sax solo just killed me. And that's probably why I don't like a lot of the songs on Wild Mood Swings, the ones that have all the horns. I'm just like, what were you thinking? Okay, so now I'm on a little break, visiting friends in the Black Forest of Germany. The weather is actually quite cool here. It's quite nice. It's almost perfect. But in 2 days, I head to Nîmes for at least the Friday and Saturday shows. I have seated tickets for those. And they're doing a thing where the tickets aren't actually being released till 48 hours before. So nobody can even sell them right now if they have an extra ticket. but I'm hoping to catch anything for Sunday as well, because I leave on Monday. I've been anxiously watching the weather in Nîmes like whole time here. As I mentioned the last one, it's been really hot in Europe. It's generally a really bad idea to be in France, especially the south of France in July. And I knew that when I bought the tickets. I was like, damn it, it's in July. But I just couldn't give up the opportunity to see them in a Roman amphitheater. So I've been kind of mentally preparing myself for the heat ever since I bought the tickets, like 6 months ago or something. So hopefully I will survive. Luckily it's in the evening, and I'm staying in a hotel with air conditioning. I'm being totally American. Then I head back to the US on Monday. There's a minuscule chance I will come back for the Manchester and/or Edinburgh shows at the end of August. But that's a little too much for me and my budget and my schedule. So most likely I will sell those tickets. So yeah, I will sign off here. I'll submit one more report after Nîmes. I really, really hope it's epic. I'm pretty excited about it. And thanks, Gavin, for letting me share my thoughts. And goodbye to everyone out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Colleen. Really appreciate that. And man, that sounded like a great time. What are 3 wild shows to catch, too. And I'm so glad the hiccup of Simon not being there didn't totally change the experience, and you had a good time, got some good rarities, saw some old favorites, and got to see 3 amazing Cure shows with your friends. So hopefully an all-around success, and of course wish you all the luck in Nîmes, and can't wait to hear all about it. If you'd be so kind to send us a report on that one too, so we would really appreciate it. So hopefully you have a blast in the meantime. So for the sake of this show and recapping Berlin, I do have a feeling we'll probably have a couple flashbacks to Berlin. Like I said, there was quite a few of you guys that went out there, and we're hoping to slowly track you down even beyond when the tour ends, and reminisce and talk more about your experiences would be great. But at the risk of being redundant, let's go through the play-by-play and quickie overview just so we have it on file for all the generations to come when they come back and listen to what happened in Berlin in these 3 shows. What do you say? July 10th, night 1, Friday night. This was the 14th show of this tour. And The Cure had the openers of Just Mustard and Twilight Sad for all 3 nights, actually. So we'll just say that right on the top to cover all of them. And seems like Just Mustard are really making an impact on this whole tour. I can already say is a huge takeaway from all that. I'm seeing lots of positive things about Just Mustard, and they really seem to be clicking with the fans and getting their name out there and probably winning over a ton of Cure fans. So very cool to hear that. And of course, the Twilight Sad is always reliable and awesome. So hopefully more fans getting one over there too. So great openers, no live stream. But by now, doing this a little later, there is a 1 camera full stream, especially of this first night, that you can check out on YouTube. I'll, of course, put a link to that in our Facebook page, and you can check out, the whole thing or highlights, but the whole thing is on there. But no live stream at the moment. So that was kind of sad, because I was hoping, but not expecting one for this, because it isn't a big, commercial festival or anything. So they would play 26 songs the first night in Berlin, and this was to a 17,000 crowd. So big old sold out crowd, all 3 nights. So about 17,000 people there. And of course, the big shocker right off the bat, night 1, where's Simon Gallup? He is out, and Eden is over on bass. If you remember back in the old festival tour of 2019, Eden did fill in Fiji and in Austin. Just those 2 shows. So, and he's been playing guitar and keys this whole tour, doing great over there. So extra versatile and extra impressive that not only has he gotten all those awesome guitar parts down and keys and just getting comfortable on stage as the sixth member. Now he's bumping into his dad's position to help out and save the day, and playing bass and sounding pretty goddamn spot on from the footage I've seen of everything. Not a flub note or embarrassing moment or stutter or anything, which would be expected, really. This many songs and that many like really strong bass lines, you would think it would take a few tries to get them all perfect, but I didn't see anything that seems lackluster in any way. So I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. So great job to Eden. Right off the bat, I don't have any horror stories for you guys. He nailed it. So yeah, let's see. What did the set list hold there? Because this was the three shows we thought they were really going to cut loose on, or at least my prediction was, if we weren't getting crazy mystery songs, we were just going to get everything that they've played at this point. I really thought that they could and would divide it up to make each night a little different, which they did, but in a different way. So didn't necessarily dig out everything. And as soon as we saw that Eden was playing bass, my initial reaction was like, they're going to play it extra safe and probably do the same show like all three nights. And they didn't do that either. So it was kind of cut the difference where they didn't really throw any craziness out there and didn't dig up every song they had played at this point, but kind of just kept rolling along as the plan was, I think, because the set list looked kind of like how they've been, where they're swapping out a few here and there, bringing back a few old ones, bringing back a few that they've only played a couple times, and even a couple debuts throughout the three nights there. So let's take the quick rundown of the set list and see what you guys think. They end up opening with Plain Song and Disintegration, which doesn't seem like that big of a shocker because they were playing those a lot as the opening and closing bookends. But as we see, a little foreshadowing might be a reason for that. So we see Plain Song and Pictures of You, High, and A Night Like This, and Love Song, that solid block opener that we've been seeing on this tour, followed now pretty consistently by Burn and Fascination Street. We get Never Enough, one of the newer additions thrown in there, sounding great, and Alt End, which isn't always consistently in the set, but quite a bit on this tour, and Push, Play for Today, and A Forest, which is a little different because they had been doing the Push in between days just like Heaven block, but at this point they just did Push, Play for Today, and then into A Forest, so that was a little different than what they've been doing. And of course, A Forest was great, always seeing Eden play his dad's almost signature song there, and nailing it. After that, they got a tour debut. We got song 46 on this set, and it was Primary, added to the set list. Last time it was played was on the 2023 tour, where it got played 6 times on that tour. So not a ton on the 2023 tour, but he got added, and now it's officially in the mix as the 46th song that The Cure have added to this set list. And that was followed by Shake Dog Shake, which is only the second time they've played it on this tour. Last time was pretty early on at the Nova Rocks, the heavier rock show one was the only time they've played Shake Dog Shake until now. So that was cool. And From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea followed that, and Prayers for Rain, which has been slightly rare on this tour. 6th time they've played that on this tour. And luckily it didn't conjure any rain afterwards like it did in Poland. And they continued on with 100 Years, which has only been played 4 times on this tour. So this is the 4th time here in 100 Years. So that's a pretty solid little block there of Primary, Shake Dog Shake, From the Edge of Deep Green Sea, and Prayers for Rain, 100 Years, and then cap it all off with Disintegration. So anytime you're getting like Prayers for Rain, 100 Years, Disintegration together, oof, pretty sick. Then they'll take their short break and come back with the pop encore Lullaby, which is dedicated to Simon. And Oh yeah, I guess pretty early on they just posted that Simon was ill and hoping for a speedy recovery, but not too many details disclosed. And we're all like, okay, well, it happened in the past, no biggie. And we just left it at that for now. The Walk, Friday I'm in Love, and then slight variation where they added In Between Days and Just Like Heaven to the Pop Encore. So this was a little more reminiscent of the Pop Encore from 2023 tour, throwing those big heavyweight songs into the final stretch. And that was followed by Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, and of course Boys Don't Cry finished it off. So the first time they've changed it up like that, adding those two to the Pop Encore and cutting out, what would be possibly Wrong Number and what else? Mint Car and Hot, 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 if they're alternating in some of those, or Let's Go to Bed. Yeah, so kind of cool, kind of different. And that would wrap up night one. A success for Eden, a success for the band. You got a tour debut. You got a couple oldies that they've only played a couple times so far. So a good rarish set, 26 solid songs. So everyone in Germany is happy after night one. Night two, July 11th, Saturday night, show number 15 for The Cure. 27 songs, so one more this show. And the whole set will be 137 minutes, so pretty good length of time there. And whoops, Simon isn't here this night either, so still ill, as you would say. Let's see how the set list looks for this one. Eden comes out with Plain Song. So again, same opener. No, actually they changed it up a little bit. Plain Song, Pictures of You, High, Love Song, but no A Night Like This in the first block. So they cut that one there. Hard to say why, but that's an interesting little wrinkle that they haven't done any other ones where it's thrown in later in the set. So after Love Song, we got Burned and Fascination Street into Never Enough again. So very similar. And then we got Push, In Between Days, and Just Like Heaven. So these are bumped back to where they had been, unlike the first night there where they pulled those two out. Followed by Last Day of Summer, when this one was dedicated to Simon. So A Strange Day is played after that. A cool... for the third time, so I haven't heard that one too often, so that's a great Last Day of Summer into Strange Day. And we get a cool little pornography triplet from here, so with A Strange Day, 100 Years Again now for the fourth time, and Cold returns only for the second time on this tour, so that's a solid little trio there. Strange Day, 100 Years, Cold. Then we get A Night Like This, so not really sure why they bumped that one later, just for variety's sake maybe. Play for Today, A Forest, and Shake Dog Shake again for its third time now on the tour. And into this From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea into Disintegration. And Lullaby kicks off the Pop Encore. This one is more of a kind of bare bones 7-song encore. Lullaby, The Walk, Love Cats, which I guess they cut from night one, didn't they? Yeah, no Love Cats first night. But it's here tonight on night two. Love Cats is back. Friday I'm in Love. Weird little minute of the PA kicking out, apparently, on Friday I'm in Love. And, yeah. Strange that would happen at that point in the set. Maybe somebody leaned on the control panel or something and cut out all the sound. Whoops. Followed by Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, and Boys Don't Cry. So pretty cool. Some variations there. So if you were at both of those, you got a good variety. And technically one more song than night one. But night three, you get an extra song, and now up to 28 songs, but one less minute of actual music. It was 136 minutes for that set. So you lose a minute, but you got a song. So you can weigh that however you want. July 12th, we're on Sunday now. in Berlin. And this is the 16th Cure show. And again, they open with Plain Song and Disintegration and no Simon Gallup. So he is still ill, missing all 3 Berlin shows. So that's a bit of a bummer for people that caught all 3 of those. Was hoping he'd make it back for the final one, but no word on Simon. So everyone starts worrying a little bit. And this got a little annoying and stupid after this show because a few of the creditable ones picked it up just as a headline that said Simon missed the shows. His son Eden filled in for him. Cool, great. They've informed the people. But then, like, more clickbaity things started popping up all over the place. And I saw other people bitching about this, so I wasn't just losing my mind, but I was like, the wording is really bad on these. Like, some of them really started to just flat out say that Simon was out for the whole tour and that Ian would be filling in for the whole rest of the tour. I was like, I haven't seen anything official that has said that yet. They just said he's out and his son filled in for him. So it was like really jumping the gun, I think, for the sake of... It didn't seem like they were just being oblivious either. It was almost like they were trying to just find some clickbait bullshit just to like grab people's attention. And it did, you know. I saw a few people that were just like, what the fuck, is he out the whole thing? And luckily, doesn't seem to be the case. That'll pop up again a little bit later, so I won't spoil the future. But he's out, and then that was bullshit. That's all you need to remember from all that. So let's see what happened in night 3, though, and then we can size up all 3 of the nights together. So Eden's back in it, crushing it again on bass. Plain Song is the opener. So we didn't get a loan for any of the Eden ones. I don't know if Eden just doesn't have that one down yet, or hasn't learned it, or just they thought it would be cooler and easier to stick to the classic Disintegration bookends in Berlin. So who knows, but they had been playing those a lot anyway. So Plain Song, Pictures of You, Hi, A Night Like This, Love Song. So like night 1, good solid block they've been working with. And then they get another tour debut, so a cool little change up there. Seems to be the spot for it if we're going to get one. Tour debut, song number 47 is Catch. Yay, personal favorite. Love this song. So happy that they dug this one up. And we could add it to the mix of potential songs you'll hear on this tour. And video of it looked awesome. There's a YouTube clip of that I'll attach. Didn't see any full shows for this one, so I'll just put Catch on there because that was the big tour debut. Hadn't been played since the 2016 tour, so been a little while on that. Jesus Christ, just dawned on me that was 10 years ago. Whew. Wow. Anyway, Burn, Fascination Street, Alt End followed that in a nice little consistent block. And then a nice surprise of Charlotte Sometimes came in there for the 3rd time on this tour. So you get Catch and Charlotte Sometimes and some nice rarities. Push, In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, working well together still. Last Day of Summer, always consider that a rarity, even though it's been pretty consistent this tour. And then we got a rarity with M. They played that for only the 2nd time. First time they played that was on the 2nd show in Portugal, so it's been quite a while. June 7th was when they debuted it, and then didn't come back to it. So M, always welcomed in the set list, as I guess that was a little 17 seconds triplet there. We got M, Play for Today, and A Forest, From the Edge of Deep Green Sea, Prayers for Rain, and Disintegration again. So that's pretty fucking solid set right there. And of course we get the pop encore, pretty standard lullaby, but with the hot, hot, hot variant thrown in there. 5th time only on this tour. But Hot, 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 The Walk, Love Cats, Friday I'm in Love, Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, and Boys Don't Cry. Starting to think we haven't seen Mint Carr in a while, so that's kind of a bummer. I was hoping they would keep that flowing in there a little more consistently, but I have to look at the standings there, but I feel like I haven't seen Mint Carr in a while. So yeah, all 3 shows, I guess the big takeaways, no Simon on any of them. Eden did great though and crushed it. No Alone or End Song with Eden on bass. But we got some surprising variations in the set list, even some new songs added. So they didn't play it totally safe by switching him over to bass. Just a side thought I've been having lately, not necessarily pertaining to Eden switching to bass for these shows, but just in general with the whole 55 songs that they say they have. I wonder how much notice the other bandmates get from Robert or whoever the final word on the set list is of when they do want to add a new song or bring back one that they've played maybe once or twice. How much notice do they get to, brush up on it in the dressing room back there, because they know it down. They've rehearsed them all. But at the same time, if you haven't played M since June 7th, even if you're Reeves, I'd imagine you'd want to do a quick mental run through of the song, just to make sure you have the structure down and stuff like that, But I wonder, do they have enough time to run through it real quick in the locker? Not in the locker room, but in the green room backstage, and ask questions or something. Like, is it 2 times on the last chorus on that? Or, I know a lot of times they would get to play it in a sound check, but it doesn't seem like that's totally consistent either based on for people that were, waiting at the doors and hear the sound check. A lot of times they'll run through something, but, they'll end up playing that one like 4 shows later or something. It's not necessarily means that it's going to be in that show. So yeah, just a question. I wonder if Robert is kind to them or not by just springing these new songs. He's like, today we will play Catch. And everyone's like, or like, sweet, finally, So yeah, ponder that. So it looked like 3 really awesome shows despite, not having Simon there. And despite my theory of them not playing everything, so you still don't get a Too Late, unfortunately. I thought for sure they would bring back Too Late for this one, but I've been saying that for every block of shows, I think. So that might be the only one that they've debuted at this point that they've only played once, aside from, something super new or it just hasn't had the chance to get played more than once. But is Too Late the only one that's only been played once at this point? Let's find out. But yeah, seems like great show, great sets, good lengthy amount, energy levels great. I want to say everyone's feeling great, but I guess Simon wasn't. Fear not, like I said, spoiler alert, he does come back, so the articles are stupid. Not quite yet for the next show, and we'll leave that into this intro of the next block, but So there was a bit of a concern after this third one where I was like, oh shit, maybe it's something serious, and maybe it was, but seems like he's had time to recover and is feeling good. So hopefully everybody else stays clear of the crud and is able to keep trucking along here. In the block that's currently happening, there are about 20 of the 30 some shows of this tour. So I think we're concluding our 2/3 portion pretty quick here as we start to head towards the end of July. And it will seem like a great show. Our buddy Andy, the Cure fan, somehow got the golden ticket and had the lucky experience of meeting Robert backstage. And as we all saw the picture, I'm sure posted all over, and looked like a great time. So maybe we'll get the full story from him at some point, how the hell all that happened. And good old David Allen was at these shows too, so it was great to see a post from him that he was watching from the side of the stage. And lots of good friends out there watching the Berlin shows. And like I said, hopefully we'll get more scoop on this in discussions as we do a flashback. But for the sake of keeping the ball rolling and the timeline and the calendar, we are going to wrap this up pretty quick here and leave it there. But again, great big thank you to Colleen. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us, and so glad to hear you had a great time. And onward to Greece, I believe it was, after this. So next 4 block, I think we could put 4 in the next one there. So we'll come back to you, Berlin, and we'll see you guys in the future. But before we head out, just a real quick shout out to our lovely Patreon, the people that make all this possible. Go to patreon.com/the Holy Hour Podcast if you're interested in being among these elite Craig, Jeff Hilton, Amber, Allison, Tom Burns, John Roberts, Colin, Craig Hogan, Jeff Cortland Jones, Donna, Sue, John Forrester, Dion, Namicio, Matt Ford, Letty, Tony, Ben, Coulter, Tom Johnson, Francisco, Arno, Chip, Nicholas, Shirley, Mara, Caroline, Brian, Sean, Jennifer, Pete Roberts, Nicole, John Richter, Paula, and Andreas, plus, of course, Kate over at curethreads.com, where she has tons of original Cure-inspired designs on a wide range of quality products. And, of course, the mastermind behind Cure Arts Collab on Instagram, where Kate provides a home base for amazing Cure artwork created by bona fide Cure fans like you. And Scott Kruger, of course, is the co-host of the Sarlacc Digest, the best damn Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. And you can catch their live stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube and Facebook. And getting real excited, only about a week away from my family traveling out to California. We're going to do some nature days, and then we're going to hit up LA, and we're going to try to track down the man, Scott Kruger himself, to get a real 1 in a million Star Wars experience at Galaxy's Edge. So can't wait. Should be a blast. And I'll let you guys know how all that goes. David is also out west, and he runs the Obsessive Geek on Etsy. That's a great spot for Cure-related shopping, including getting 3D printed recreations of Cure album covers, Boys Don't Cry keychains, Fascination Street signs, all kinds of cool stuff. All high quality and affordable products. Visit the Obsessive Geek on Etsy. Dana is a freelance animation, illustration, and motion graphics designer and welcoming new projects and commissions, so check out her work at graphics.tv. That's graphics with an X. And drop her a line. And I believe she might have been at the Berlin show, so that's awesome that she got to witness 3 amazing nights out there. Tanya would like to spread awareness of 988lifeline.org, the suicide and crisis hotline with over 200 crisis call centers located all over the U.S. and available 24/7, offering free and confidential support for people in distress. So if you or anyone you know is in need of help, please don't hesitate to reach out to 988lifeline.org. Lisa recommends that you visit Dickens, the coolest it's getting late over here. Lisa recommends that you visit Dickens, the coolest venue in Calgary, Canada, at dickensyyc.com for all upcoming events. And of course, last but never least, our good buddy Chaz's other podcast, James Dobson's Bastard Kids, where each week he and Chrissy nosedive into the evangelical church world, for better or worse. Always packed full of mind-blowing research and usually some really good laughs in there too. So check out James Dobson's Bastard Kids everywhere you stream your podcast. And that's gonna leave it for now. Let's head onward to Athens, Greece. So long, Berlin, but not for long. We'll probably be back here talking about you very soon. And all you guys out there, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you soon. Talk hard.